even with the awareness and even with more people being diagnosed, it still leaves us with people who don't understand. That's okay, but it still leaves us with our hands full of actual challenges that are difficult in caring for our family members or caring for ourselves as caregivers, because some of us are getting, as we get older, we may not be able to care for him as well. Then we worry what happens when we're older and not able to care for him as much. So there's a lot of challenges that
Right.
it helps to have the added awareness, but this large number of more and more people being diagnosed with, and more people like Sean who are aging out of school because the school system guarantees you 5 days a week of some activity. When you age out at 21 or 22, you can just fall into a black hole. And that brings us back to the whole pandemic thing we mentioned, was that the people who went back to normal as the pandemic world opened up again, for those of us with disability issues, the support system has not bounced back.
Coming from the pandemic, and that too. If you remember any of that, and then you can't take away from what you learned from that process, and you can't apply that to what you see, the issues you've seen, the disparities and all the inequality stuff going on. If you can't remember any of that, or you weren't able to take anything away from that, then it's really sad, and it certainly helps Mark and I be able to discern who we want to keep in contact with. And, who's really paying attention to the issues, who's really listening to, who really wants to be a problem solver, who really has a good heart. That's huge. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you. A lot of, during the pandemic, we sat back and watched a lot of big companies, especially, just not even pay attention, just get rich off of other people's misery,
Our voices and our children's voices are less heard in those arguments because we can't join it. Our kids have no voice. So
what you just said perfectly is a sentiment to what they were talking about, the back and forth. And here I am in the middle trying to
like you say, there's good points on either side. I understand both of those feelings.
And it's like, take what you see from this side, take what you see from this side, work together and come to make people's lives better. Don't find things to argue and further. There's enough people that that are trying to divide everything. So what if you're labeled different or not labeled or whatever? You're all neurodivergent.
Sure.
And
that's right.
Find a way to work together in advance society.
Yes, it doesn't have to be the autism spectrum to say neurodivergent. We all, what if you have a speech processing issue that's not autism? So, everybody's got something. And so we could all work together and not argue about who gets credit for it,
Right.
There's a lot of that empathy then leads to humility in admitting that, okay, I don't quite understand this problem, so I've got to tell parents or whoever that I don't know, and this is who you should go see. But a lot of them end up, because they want to fulfill their own ego or whatever, they end up giving you a diagnosis that doesn't really apply, or they come to some wrong conclusion and think it's right, you know?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And my husband and I say this all the time. The people we most respect, whether it's the medical field or anything, are the people who have the confidence to say, I don't have the answer to that, or I'm not the best person because I don't really understand that well.
Right.
Even if they don't have a better person to recommend, I like somebody who is confident enough to say, I can't really give you a solid answer. Here's the best I can do to try to help you.